The University of Hawaii announced nearly $73 million in cuts in federal grants from the Trump administration. Our Wendy Richardson has the latest.
The nearly $73 million in cuts is more than double the $30 million previously announced. At this morning's Board of Regents meeting, UH President Wendy Hensel said 76 grants were eliminated, terminated, or received stop work orders. 65 grants were fully terminated, and 69 employees were impacted.
Together, these cuts and policy changes represent, as I've said before, quite a significant threat to federal funded research, and it is obviously of concern.
Hensel also spoke about the proposed federal budget cuts of 55% to the National Science Foundation and 40% to the National Institutes of Health. She said if passed, it'll include deep cuts to agencies that have long supported UH's research. Hensel said UH is actively coordinating with the Attorney General's office on several federal lawsuits. Wendy Richardson, Hawaii News Now.